Welcome classic rock fans to a short video where we turn our attentions to all things Jethro Tull once more, because as you know I just do not talk about Jethro Tull enough on this channel. And what's prompted this conversation, this video so to speak, is being sent a lovely collection of books by Weimar Publishing. And this one that's picked up my interest is Jethro Tull Chronicles 1976-79. I must admit I usually veer clear of these sort of publications as they tend to be unofficial and you never know the quality of the item you're buying. Often they can be rather shabby. Not in this case. It's clearly the binding is fantastic. The print quality, which I will show you some of the pictures, are absolutely fantastic, and it's absolutely packed with interesting information about the band during this their classic period, so to speak. Let's open it up and have a look. Of course, this was written by Laura Shenton, who has written a few books on Jethro Tull. More on that in a moment. But this one, it's lovely binding, lovely quality. I'll show you some of the images. I mean, it's very nice. There we go, Mr. Anderson, circa 1976. Preface: although most consider the 70s was the peak era for Jethro Tull, the late 60s was also a vital period for the band. It was during this period that the group's dynamics were established and every new lineup signified a stylistic change that would take Jethro Tull further towards their winning formula that shone through on later albums, such as Thick as a Brick. The scope of this book covers the year 67 to 79 in detail. Emphasis here is in detail. It's a thoroughly comprehensive tome, I'll give it that. Really, really nice quality. I don't know how much you pay for this. I have no idea what the cost is, but it's certainly a book that's worth purchasing. Sort of nice press clippings and gubbings like that. I shall certainly look forward to reading this. Strictly on the QT, I'm planning to do a classic album review, exclusive classic album review on Songs from the Wood, I think. But there we go. Isn't that wonderful? The quality, I mean, the quality of the prints and the pictures are just absolutely fantastic. I have no idea what involvement or cooperation she's had from the band in compiling this. A lot of the interviews, of course, for Ian Anson are drawn from press releases and interviews he's done in music papers and such. I mean, they've just got pages and pages of text. I just think it's a really good quality, but really good in terms of value for money, in terms that it's just absolutely packed with information. It's not just loads and loads of glossy prints that are credited to Rolling Stone or other magazines. There seems to have been some serious work done on this. Well, that's a fabulous picture. I love that. That must have been about circa 1970. Lots of newspaper cuttings and clippings of adverts and things. I'd love her to do something on Yes from 68 or 69, sorry, to about 79. And listen, look at the quality of that print. Isn't it fabulous? I will include the purchasing link below this video. I don't know where you buy it from, whether it's Amazon or it's directly from Weimar Publishing, I don't know. But I'll probably include both links, just to spoil you. That's from obviously the Too Old to Rock and Roll period. Wonderful quality of print reproduction. I've said that already, haven't I? I'll say it again. There you go, look at that. Isn't that great? Really nice. Then you get some wonderful prints from Ian Anson at or Jethro Tull when they played the Hammersmith Odeon in 76 or 77 I think, on Songs from the Wood tour. Let me start discussing their rustic period, Tull's rustic period. One of my patrons has asked me if I could recommend an introduction to Jethro Tull. I've said I would start with the, you might disagree with me of course, but I said I would start with the Aqualung album, as I think it's an extraordinarily good album, and it's an accessible album as well. And then I said after the Aqualung album, I think you should go straight to maybe look at the rustic period, Songs from the Wood and Heavy Horses. Do you think that was sage advice? I think so. I think so. It all comes down to opinion at the end. And in my opinion, this is a wonderful, wonderful book. Really thoroughly well written, well researched, dense, and loads of pictures in Ian Anderson flaunting his codpiece. What more could you want? Anderson on the Isle of Skye. Nice stuff on posters and things like that. And then at the end it finishes with personnel and information on all the sort of individual albums, like that. So it's a weighty tome, it's difficult for me to lift, but this is an ideal gift. And then, to top that off, at the end you get a comprehensive list of tour dates from tour posters, reproduction posters. This has clearly been put together by somebody who knows their Tull and is probably even more obsessive about them than me, and my word, that's saying something. Lots and lots of wonderful reproduction posters and flyers and things like that at the back. I'd hate to say it, but I think this book, to me, seems much more comprehensive, much more dense than the Ballad of Jethro Tull, which is a book I actually got that for Christmas, so I mustn't grumble, but I think this book looks like this would be a more interesting read. But I shouldn't say that. I'll have Ian Anderson's lawyers at me. Anyway, Jethro Tull Chronicles. This is a wonderful book. It's published by Weimar Publishing. It's written by Laura Shenton. And she's also written a few other books. I'm going to share those with you. It's also by Weimar Publishing. They've kindly sent me them. And that is some Tull books. She's written rather comprehensively, bear with me for a minute, on Tull, with individual assessments of things like Heavy Horses, Minstrel in the Gallery, and Thick as a Brick. I'd love her to do one on Songs from the Wood. The one she's on Thick as a Brick is really, really thick, no pun intended, and dense as well, and packed with information. This is absolutely replete with quite analytical information about the album as well. I quote from, this is the Thick as a Brick one. Ian Anderson's angle was that the Thick as a Brick was a bit of a satire on the whole concept, grand rock based concept albums. Laura Shenton continues, Thick as a Brick pokes fun at progressive rock itself. Anderson held the belief that by the early 70s the music had gone a bit too far up its own backside, and Thick as a Brick was somewhat intended as an antidote to that. Anderson was quoted in Prague in August 2016, when progressive rock started out, it was all about bands such as ourselves, and moving beyond merely being influenced by American blues. We stopped trying to be the next Fleetwood Mac or Chicken Shack, in other words, derivative of the Elmore James, and began to take on board so many diverse musical ideas. It was exciting and dynamic, but by the time the 1970s had begun, bands like ELP were a little up their own arses. Everything was too serious and overblown, so we set out with Thick as a Brick to show up this side of the genre, which is a point I made in my, dare I say it, wonderful review on Thick as a Brick, which is available on this channel. I'll stick a card up there so you can check it out. But yes, again, a wonderful book, lots of detail and information. But these are obviously studies on individual albums. There are other books in this series. I'll show you those while I'm here. She's done one at Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Pictures at an Exhibition. Kate Bush, The Dreaming, and Kate Bush, A Kick Inside. So there's a few others she's done as well. Anyway, that concludes our business here. All things Jethro Tull, really, apart from the end bit. Just leaves me to say thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for, keep on trucking, as a t-shirt says. more importantly than all that stuff, though, of course, is that you keep on listening.